Welcome back to the Pylon YouTube channel. I am your host, Mike. Welcome. Welcome back to Mock Draft. This is our 5.0. I said I was going to do this one as if I was the GM, but I totally forgot I was going to do that. So the next one will be if I was the general manager of these franchises, what I would do. But for this one, we're just going to do another plain old mock draft. Before we get into it, a few things I want to just say. If you got beef with the mock order, that ain't me. So take your beef up with the Draft Network. 2, if you're going to call me an idiot, it's totally fine. Just explain why in the comment section and explain what team you're talking about. And I forget 3. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this mock draft. Detroit Lions picking with the first overall pick. I think the most obvious choice here, and I in the last mock draft video, I shared a tweet that I tweeted out, I think November 13th, I think Aiden Hutchinson should be the number 1 overall draft choice. I think he's much better than Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he's a more complete player. He's played way higher competition. He definitely doesn't have the same upside as Thibodeau does because Thibodeau could potentially be a freak. But I think Aiden Hutchinson already is a freak, and I think his floor is much higher than Thibodeau's. So at pick 1, we're going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not sure if this is the consensus pick, but I'm done with consensus. I'm just going to go with what I think is right because I've kind of been on with this draft class so far. I've been on the right wave, and Aiden Hutchinson to me is the clear number 1 choice. Texans. A lot of Texans fans keep commenting, we need to draft quarterback, we need to draft edge, we need to draft line, etc. I think all 3 are right. I think you definitely could go quarterback. I think the priority probably with this pick is to number 1, trade it. Just trade it away, see what you get. 2, I would go probably best player available, and that would be Kayvon Thibodeau. Or 3, I would go line. I think this quarterback class is pretty weak, and I don't think there's any I would want to take with pick 2. So I would take Thibodeau. I think that they need to shore up the offensive line, but it's not as bad as it's bad, but I think that I don't know. I have no idea. The Texans are a disaster top to bottom. You could fix the line, you could fix the whichever line you want. I just don't think quarterback is the answer at pick 2. So we're gonna go with Kayvon Thibodeau. He's the best player available in my opinion. If I was a general manager, this is a sneak peek for the next video. But if I was a general manager and I was evaluating the Texans, thinking, all right, well, we're not gonna have a quarterback. We're looking to draft a quarterback potentially in this draft for one after we trade Deshaun Watson. I would want to shore up the offensive line and put him in the best position to succeed. So for me, this might be Evan Neal. Or Ikem Ekwonu, who I think is just as good. And they actually have Ikem Ekwonu over Evan Neal. Would you look at that? Another place where Mike was right. Sweet. I'm just kidding. I'm wrong a lot of times, but I have been right about Hutchinson and Ekwonu. I think Ekwonu is a freak. At pick 3, Jacksonville Jaguars. I've seen Ekwonu. I mocked Ekwonu here last week, and then after that, saw a bunch of people start mocking him. They're not saying they saw my draft, but I think a lot of people are on the same wavelength of, hey, this kid is really, really, really good. He is really good, especially when it comes to run blocking, and he is getting better at pass blocking. But because we went Ekwonu last week, I kind of want to do something different and take a quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. But I like Kyle Hamilton here. They need safety help. But I just think with the generational talent that you have at quarterback, this needs to be something on the offensive line. I actually don't hate the idea of trading back for Linderbaum, possibly, or taking Linderbaum, just have as many amazing pieces on that O-line as possible. But I think you got to go tackle here, and you got to get a left tackle because Cam Robinson's on the franchise tag. He's probably gone. I don't know if they're going to sign him, but then if they, we're going to go with Ikem Ekwonu. I just think he's just that good. He's deserved to move up the predicted draft board. He just deserved everything he's getting. Kid is really, really good. Jets at pick 4. This is their pick. Last time we went Hamilton Stingley, and I still think it's absolutely the right play. But you do have Evan Neal here, and Zach Wilson is getting his booty handed to him behind that offensive line. And I am not a believer in Mekhi Becton. I think he's just a very big athlete. I don't think he's a technically sound tackle, if that makes sense. So I guess we're going to go with Evan Neal here for the Jets. And then we're going to go and address the second biggest need, which would be probably cornerback or safety. Marcus May is on the franchise tag. They don't have a lockdown corner who they would immediately have in Derek Stingley. Or they could address the defensive line, which is already pretty solid, and get Karlaftis here. I don't know if I would take him there. I'm a huge David Ajabo guy, but I just don't think that's a top 5 pick. Like, I don't think either of these guys are top 5. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not watch the Purdue game, so I don't know if that's why Karlaftis' stock has just skyrocketed. I don't know if he just had a freak game. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch it. So I think for me, it's still best player available. And I think it's between Kyle Hamilton or Derek Stingley. And I want to go with Hamilton. He's a more diverse player. He does more than just play safety. Like, he's not just a ball hawking safety. He can line up in the slot against slot corners. He can line up in the box like Jamal Adams can, and he's a very good safety, and he's a freak athlete. I think he's like 6'4", 6'4", 220. Just a huge dude. Huge athlete. Great athlete. New York Giants pick 6-7. This is the Chicago pick. I've said this every mock so far. QB is not their need. Like, it is a need, but that organization top to bottom is just inherently bad. If you watch the game this past week against Miami, you realize that this team is so much worse beyond quarterback. Like, it's not just Daniel Jones' fault why this team sucks. Their coach sucks. Their owner sucks. Basically, every part of their team you could say sucks. Running back sucks. Wide receivers can't stay healthy. Offensive line is abysmal. They don't have an edge rusher. Azeez Ojulari's out there dancing alone. So I think for this team that is going to be looking to draft a quarterback, you have 2 high first-round picks. I know Stingley's on the board, but I think you got to address this offensive line and fix it once and for all, and put the next kid you draft in the best situation, or free agent if you go out and make a free agency signing in a situation, because I don't think any quarterback would succeed. I don't even blame Daniel Jones for being bad in this situation. I don't even think he's that bad, to be honest with you. I think people don't understand, unless you're a Giants fan, you really don't know how much this kid has to overcome to be even mediocre. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a bad situation. So for me, we are going to go with offensive line. I think we've done this every single time except once. I just want to see who they have first, because I already know who I'm picking, but all right. So you actually could make the argument to go Stingley, because they could cut or waive James Bradbury and clear a ton of cap space, and that would be sick, because then they would have an immediate lockdown corner to go with Adoree Jackson and their third-round pick, who's playing really well, in Aaron Robinson. But I'm going to go with Kenyon Green. You immediately fix a spot at guard. He also could play tackle. And then we're going to fix up the center, too, because Billy Price is like the 36th best center, and he's a starter. So that should tell you how bad Billy Price is. But Tyler Linderbaum is going to be an immediate fix for the Giants. Both these players are going to start right away. The Giants have struggled to pick first-round talents that could play right away. So, yeah. So we've seen Stingley fall quite a bit. And the Falcons are an interesting team because they need edge help. Their defensive line just needs help. They could go quarterback. They could go wide receiver because Calvin Ridley, there's no timetable on him. But I just think you can't pass on Stingley. Like, Stingley is falling crazy far. And they have, what's his name? The kid from Clemson. A.J. Terrell, who's one of the most underrated corners in football, in my opinion. That kid is playing lights out this year. He should definitely get a Pro Bowl nod. I voted for him to go to the Pro Bowl. I don't think a lot of people will, but he is playing out of his mind, especially with how bad the Falcons are. I think if you pair Terrell up with another shutdown corner in Stingley, you actually make a very good Falcons secondary. I just think it's too far for Stingley to go further. He's that good of a player. I could make the argument the Jaguars should have taken him. I can make the argument the Jets should have taken him. I can make the argument the Giants should have taken him. I don't see him going past 8. Like, at this point, it's like he is the best player on the board. It's not even a question. You just have to take him. Like, you got to take what's there, and you know it's going to be an immediate impact player. You know he's going to fix your team or make your team better in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I think they got to take Stingley. If he's falling to 8, you got to take him. Because I could make the argument that the Panthers, like, Stingley makes any team that drafts him better. And I know, like, we're doing a first-round mock draft, so that should be obvious. Like, you should say that about any of these players. But how many players that are drafted in the first round that just suck? Like, they just never pan out, ever. Like, Stingley, I could say with 99% confidence, because there is the injury concern. He wasn't playing that well at the beginning of the year. I don't think that matters for anything. It's more of the injury concern for me. Like, he's going to be good. Like, he's going to be a good player. He's locked down the SEC when he was a true freshman. Like, this kid has the talent to be good. He's just got to stay on the field. Pick 9, Panthers. To me, this has to be quarterback. Like, yes, their offensive line is doo-doo caca, but, like, they don't have a quarterback right now. Sam Darnold, I don't know if Sam Darnold is going to come back from the shoulder fracture and be all right. Cam Newton's not it. And P.J. Walker ain't it either. And I feel bad for P.J. Walker because he, like, any quarterback that goes and plays for the Panthers, like, they don't. You lost McCaffrey, so you lost your check down, your safety valve, and you don't have any protection. So how are you really supposed to succeed in this offense? You're not. But I think pick 9, this is literally, I think they're one pick later than they were last year. I think, they don't have a second-round pick either, because I was going to say they could just start drafting O-line later, but they don't even have a second-round pick. I'm not even sure if they have a third-round pick. Because I was going to say you could just take a quarterback and they just go all O-line the rest of the draft, but damn. We're going to go with Matt Corral. I think this kid has enough upside and is good enough right now to the Panthers could deal with him for a season and then, like, as I'm saying, deal with him as in, like, develop him for a season. They just don't, like, he's mobile enough too where, like, he could kind of, if Matt Rule stays, I have confidence in him to scheme up an offense where it's a lot of rolling the pocket for Corral to be out of duress and make a lot of throws on the run. When you have McCaffrey, when you have DJ Moore, and maybe if Terrace Marshall can get some better looks or develop, you have weapons. So, like, I think, like, you could not take Kenny Pickett here. Even though I think Kenny Pickett's the most pro-ready quarterback, you could not take him here. I don't even think you could take Malik Willis here because he's just, like, not ready yet and he can't start right away. Matt Corral is, like, a little bit of both, in my opinion. Pick 10 of the Vikings. So, it's tough because we talk about this every time. I always think about it every time we do this. They need to start the rebuild eventually, and at this point, they're not going to make the playoffs. Oh, wait. Yeah, they just lost they're done. They're, like, shot. They lost to the Niners, and they lost to the Lions. So you got to start the rebuild this year. For me, I don't think you go quarterback because you have Kirk Cousins, who's on a $66 million contract. I don't know all the details of that contract, but to me, it's a player you want to draft someone you can develop. You could go wide receiver here. I just don't think that that's the best thing to do. I think you could get a wide receiver a lot later in the draft, and he'll be a good player. Like we saw Terry McLaurin get drafted in the third player, and I think he's definitely a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. But I don't think quarterback's the play. To me, I like corner. I like the idea of going corner here a lot. And Jordan Davis is still here. Like, you could take Jordan Davis, who's just an absolute cork up the middle. Like, he's going to eat he just takes up so much space. But there's not much upside to Jordan Davis. He just kind of is what he is. They could go edge and take Karlaftis, who's still there. He's or Ojabo. They're both, I don't know, man. Because they have Danielle Hunter, but Danielle Hunter is, like, constantly hurt, I feel like. I could be wrong. If you're a Vikings fan, like, explain to me if I'm wrong on that. I think it's just too early for a safety at pick 10. We're seeing the slide on Booth, and we're seeing the rise of Elam. Dude, I'm telling you, Elam is really good. Like, he is effing nasty. Like, this kid, like, nobody wants to throw at him. He's too big, and he's too physical. Like, they just don't want to do it. I think Elam I think Elam's a play. I love this kid, dude. He is so good. I think he's just a physical, big receiver who, yeah, there's the injury concern, but like 6'3", 215 in a division with Allen Robinson probably won't be there that next year. The Lions are going to draft someone he's going to have to match up with, and Devontae Adams is going to be gone. He might like dominate this division because there really seems like a very low or like like low level of talent or new talent where he's going to be going up against Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen in practice. Like this kid could become a god. Like he could be the next big thing at corner if he goes to the Vikings. Swear. Kind of just talked myself into that, but anyway. Saints so this is funny about the Saints. So I've done 5 of these, this being the 5th one. And I have thought this entire time I have drafted Chris Olave to the Saints. And if you look back at any of the mock drafts, except for last week's, I have drafted a receiver to the Saints. And the only reason I hadn't been drafting Olave to the Saints is because I thought I had done it already. And I looked back and I never drafted Olave to the Saints. So we're taking Olave to the Saints. But what I will say before I make this pick, I got a lot of hate for the Jameson Williams pick to the Saints. And, like, the part of the reason why I picked Jameson Williams to the Saints is because he played at Ohio State. He was signed or recruited by Ohio State and then switched to Alabama, transferred to Alabama because he wasn't getting playing time. And he just had 170 yards and 2 touchdowns on the best defense in the country. Like, I'm going Olave to appease the masses, but if I was the general manager, I am taking Jameson Williams 100 times. This kid, like, this could be a bigger Tyreek Hill 2.0. Like, I swear on the good Lord. This kid's a freak of nature. But we're going to go Olave because everybody's going to be like, you didn't take Olave again. And I'm just going to say I'm sorry. Pick 12, this is the Eagles pick. Coming off a win against the Jets. The Minshew Mania is back. Super hyped about that. We're just not even going to think about this one. They need edge. Karlaftis is here. Apparently flew up the board. I don't know what he did against this Purdue game, but I got to look at it. We're going to go Karlaftis. Don't have to think too much about that. They're going back-to-back, pick 13. I think quarterback should be in play. I really do. Is this the draft where quarterback is in play? I don't think so. Because you develop Hurts or give Hurts a little bit more time, and if it just turns out he can't throw the ball like you need him to or you want him to develop into being able to throw the ball, you got Minshew. And Minshew is definitely one of the best backups in the NFL. At least it seems like it. He just went 22 for 25 with 2 touchdowns and like 130 passer rating. Kid's good. I really like Minshew. I think he's got an insanely bad rap. So I just got sidetracked. I really don't think Olave should be the first wide receiver off the board. But Saints fans want him, so I'm giving him to you. So anyway, back to my point. I think you got to go defense here. So if you're an Eagles fan and you're listening to this, drop your comments on this. And if you know the answer, because so mock draft 3, I drafted Linderbaum to the Eagles. I thought it was like a super cool pick, and apparently everybody hated it. And this is where I'm like, it's cool if you call me an idiot, because I'm fine with it, because these people thankfully explained why. I totally forgot they drafted Landon Dickerson last year. Totally forgot about it. But 2 weeks ago when the Giants played the Jets, or the Eagles played the Giants, did anybody else notice that when Jason Kelce went down, Landon Dickerson did not play center? Like, that's where I'm like, all right, like, are they just going to leave him at guard, or is he just, like, not a good center at the next level? So if you're an Eagles fan and you know the answer, like, please explain to me why, because I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks. But anyway, we got our edge. Now I think we're going to go cornerback. A lot of talented corners on the board. I like Trent McDuffie. Roger McCreary's fallen a little bit. Wonder why. And Martin Emerson's climbing. I'm a huge McCreary guy. Not sure why he fell, and I'm not sure why Martin Emerson's climbing. I don't really think running backs need either. As long as Jalen Hurts is the quarterback, they don't really need a running back. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to take the best interior line available. Darian Kennard, that's so early for him, I feel like. Do they need tackle? Nah, not really. They have, I forget who their tackles are. Nah, they need defense. They're like, every Eagles fan in the comments is always like, hey, We got to go defense every pick. So I'm gonna hear you, and I'm gonna take the highest upside corner, and that's Andrew Booth. I think he's probably the most athletic corner in the class, maybe like excluding Stingley. And I just think this kid, like, the upside's there, but I if I was the GM, I wouldn't really like the uncertainty of, like, because he gets, like, if you listen to, like, Broshmo, he makes this point, and he's, like, 100% right when I went back and watched tape. He gets bodied by physical receivers. And, like, if he has to go up against a Kenny Golladay when he decides to play, or a Terry McLaurin, or CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, he's gonna have a tough time. Like, the NFC East is loaded at wide receiver, even with Kadarius Toney, who I don't know if I mentioned him, but they like, that's my thing with Booth. Like, I think Ahmad Gardner will probably hang a little bit more in this division, but I think Booth has the upside to hang. Like, you just got to develop him. And Nick Sirianni seems like he's a pretty decent coach. Like, I'm going to give him that. Like, he's impressed me this year a lot, especially with how he's coordinated the Eagles' offense. So we're going to go with Booth. I'm going to put him in the hands of Sirianni, even though I just talked about the offense, though we just drafted a defensive player. I think the Eagles are in good hands right now. But, yeah. This is all I'm going to say about that because I'm kind of rambling. Pick 14, we have the Raiders. So, yeah, I think wide receivers should be higher, but then again, like, Zay Jones is balling out, and who's the other guy? Bryan Edwards isn't playing that bad. They don't really like to throw him the ball, though. And Hunter Renfrow. Oh, my God, I forgot about Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow is eating, at least in fantasy. Actually, no, he's eating in real life, too. He had, on Thanksgiving, he had 130 yards. I think they go O-line, especially if they want to keep Carr and, like, keep being competitive. Like, if you want to stay competitive, you need to keep your O-line and D-line competitive. I firmly believe that. I think you go Jordan Davis. I think it's early, and, like, you definitely need to address offensive line. Alex Leatherwood is playing at right guard right now, but he also is playing right tackle at some points. I think you're good at edge. You have Max Crosby and I always forget the other guy. Nassib, that guy. But I don't know. You can go tackle, or like, their O-line is in shambles. I think you go O-line because it's a bigger weakness in the D-line. And if you're going to address a weakness, I think you address the biggest weakness, and that's the offensive line. I think you go Charles Cross here. I think that's actually a pretty solid pick. You keep Leatherwood. You could hopefully develop Leatherwood to a tackle. And then you have 2 first-round tackles that are playing well. I think Charles Cross will play very well at the next level. I have my doubts. He's definitely like I'm not gonna lie, I'm no O-line guru, but I have my concerns, and I don't know. I think he'll be all right though. He's taking a huge leap this year. And then we have the Browns at 15. I think they need a wide receiver, but with the value still on the board here at edge and interior D-line, and I think wide receiver as well should be lumped into here. This should not be here. Interior O-line they just literally just re-signed like both of their guards, and they have the best guard duo in the NFL. That should not be there. We're gonna go with David Ojabo. I think this is actually a really good value pick. I think this kid's definitely gonna play himself into higher up. I think he could probably go before Karlaftis. I don't know. I just feel like Karlaftis is like an Eagles edge rusher. And I don't know what he did at the Purdue game to fly up the predictive board. So I really got to check that out. And then at pick 16, we have the Eagles again. Here at 16, I kind of feel a little bit more comfortable taking a safety, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that's the best value, but if they need it, like, I just think, well, see, I don't hate Darian Kennard here either, but no, I know what we're doing. We're gonna go linebacker, and we're gonna take Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd is that dude is just a freak. And I don't know if anybody watched the Utah game this weekend, but he looked great in coverage. He had an interception. He just looks comfortable out there, and like, that's the thing. Like, he's gonna be a starting Mike linebacker. He's a huge presence on the field at 6'3", 235. Like, this kid, I think it's between him. I have Nakobe Dean as my linebacker 1, But I think if I am a team and I'm thinking to myself, how are we at linebacker? Do we need a Mike linebacker? Do we need a money backer? I would take Devin Lloyd over Nakobe Dean because of the size. I think it makes way harder for quarterbacks to throw over the middle when you add 3 inches to someone. Like, I think Nakobe Dean might be the better talent, but I don't think Devin Lloyd is far behind, and he's just a bigger prospect. And I know Nakobe Dean is like a huge focal point for this Georgia defense, but I think where you're so thin at linebacker, like the difference is I think Nakobe Dean's probably going to play weak side at the next level where Devin Lloyd is going to be a middle linebacker. So the Eagles don't have linebackers. I think this is 100% the pick. And like, I already know where I'm going with Nakobe Dean just because I glanced up at the order, but he's coming. He's coming soon. Pick 17, we have the Steelers, so that's interesting. Last time we had a ton of quarterbacks go off the board. Oh, Washington's falling back. Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm just trying to see why they're still on the board. At pick 17, if you got your pick of the litter and you want to stay competitive right away, after what we saw with Kenny Pickett's wheels and his fake flat tire with that fake slide, I'm going with Kenny Pickett. I'm a huge Pickett guy. Like, I've been a Pickett guy this whole time. I actually did a mock draft. First mock draft we did was Kenny Pickett first quarterback off the board. No, second one. Second one was that. I'm taking Pickett, bro. Their line looks good enough. It's definitely a work in progress. They could do it later in the draft, but Pickett looks good, dude. He looks really good. I don't know why he's under Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield Jr. Pick 18. It's funny I just said that. We're going to go with Sam Howell. I like Malik Willis here. Actually, I don't know, man. Because I think Teddy could play for another year. And he's playing fine. Like, he's playing fine. And if you have Teddy for one more year, or even Drew Lock, I mean, actually, you won't have Drew Lock because you're not gonna pick up his option or anything like that. You could get Willis and let him chill for a year and then put him in. But we did this last time. Like, I really like the RPO-style offense that the Broncos run. It's what Sam Howell does at college. He has familiarity with my freaking boy, dude, Javonte Williams. Welcome to the scene, brother. I told you all. I tweeted it. I've been saying it in these mocks. I've been saying it in every video I post out there. Javonte Williams, RB freaking 1, dude. That kid is so good, and I can make every argument in the universe of why he's better than Najee Harris, but I'm not going to do it because they're both really good, and I think they should be both RB1. I'm just kidding. I think Javonte Williams should be RB1. But anyway, Sam Howell, familiarity with Javonte Williams, and he's going to have weapons better than he did at college, and we saw what he did with just De'Ami Brown, who sucks at the next level. You give him Jerry Jeudy, you give him Courtland Sutton, you give him Tim Patrick, who they just signed to a 4-year deal. I don't know, man. I think it could work. I think they could be competitive in that division next year with the rookie quarterback. He's probably going to be better than Baker Mayfield. Big Ben will be gone. Actually, 2 rookie quarterbacks. We just went. Oh, no. My bad. I'm getting them confused with the North. Getting a little hyped. Who's in that division? Oh, the Raiders. He'll probably be the worst quarterback in that division. But that is a loaded division at quarterback. They have Mahomes, Herbert, Carr, and then Howell, who, dang, maybe actually, no, you don't want Howell. Because if I'm the GM, like, I want the best quarterback in my division, and, like, yeah, I'm competing with Herbert and Mahomes, but do I think Howell could ever be better than them? No. Do I think Willis potentially could? Yes, I do think Willis has the tools to be good. Do I think he ever will get to that level? No, I don't think that. If I'm being completely candid, like, no, I don't think he'll get there. Pick 19. Dang. I said I had my pick here, but now I'm actually second-guessing myself because they need wide receiver. Like, Jalen Waddle is literally out there dancing alone. Devontae Parker is sick when healthy. Like, he's really good perimeter wide receiver. For me, I would go, if I'm going wide receiver, it's Jamison Williams all day. I like Treylon Burks. I don't know if he fits with Tua. Garrett Wilson kind of seems like the same player as Waddle, but Jamison Williams is an absolute steal. I actually don't. If the Dolphins have their second round pick, it'll be a first. Actually, no, it won't, because they're probably picking here with where their record stands because they're 6-7 now. Never mind. But we're gonna go with the best player available, and to me, that is going to be Well, not best player available, best positional need. I think they need wide receiver. Jalen Phillips just got another 2 sacks, so I think he's tied with Michael Parsons. They need running back really bad, but we would never do that in the first round. And linebacker. I think Nakobe Dean is 100% the play here. Oh my God, he would make that defense so much better. He would make that defense so much better. They have Jalen Phillips who's playing great. They have Javon Holland who's playing great. They have Xavier Howard who's playing great. What are they missing? Oh, a freaking linebacker. Dude. If the Eagles take Dean, it's Lloyd. If the Eagles take Lloyd, it's Dean. Like, they are taking a linebacker, and pick 19 is the perfect spot, dude. The perfect spot. And here's what I'm going to say, and I might get some flack in it. Actually, no, we're going to do something different. I was going to say I'll probably take a quarterback here for Washington because I just think they need to, like, stop with, like, the whole charade of, we're going to bring a quarterback in. We're going to bring Alex Smith in. We're going to bring Ryan Fitzpatrick in. Oh, we have Taylor Heineke on our practice squad. Let's play him. Like, no, just, like, go get your franchise guy. I don't think Heineke's it. He's balling out, though. I'm going to be completely honest. He is balling out, especially in primetime, and I respect it. I think anybody who shows up in primetime deserves it. You could literally be a 4-win quarterback. And if all your wins are in primetime, you have my respect. Because that shows to me you are clutch when everybody's watching. And I, as an athlete, just respect that. That, to me, is like, that's cool. You can take Willis. You just signed Heineke to a year deal. Probably going to sign him again. If you take Willis, you let him sit. But you got a lot of safeties on the board. And we're approaching safety territory. What's his name? Landon Collins. He sucks. He's bad at football. I'm a big Jordan Battle guy, but Daxton Hill, I'm going to be honest, has been playing out of his mind. I don't know, man, though, because, like, people don't really understand, like, Washington's going on a run right now, and it's like, I hope they beat the Cowboys for the division, if I'm being completely honest. But, like, people don't really understand, like, how good that roster actually is, especially on offense. And I just don't think, safety makes them better. But, like, their defense has finally showed up. And, like, this defense does not need a safety to be, like, it'll make it better, but, like, how much marginally better does it become? Versus if you get the quarterback right, like, yeah, Heineke's balling, but, like, he's not the long-term answer, probably. And you have a huge super upside talent in Malik Willis here. And maybe we could take Desmond Ridder in the first down. Like, I don't believe in Desmond Ridder. I didn't watch that Cincinnati game. I think Cincinnati has had a cakewalk of a schedule, and this dude is, like, going to get pooted on at the next level. But Malik Willis is a better athlete, bigger arm, stronger, faster. I'm not going to say better thrower of the football because he's not yet. Maybe he will be. But everything knowing Ron Rivera just screams safety here, and we are going to take Daxton Hill. I think, actually, dude, you could go wide receiver too. Like, dang, this is a tougher pick than I thought. Bro, I want to go wide receiver because I want to see freaking Terry McLaurin with a real wide receiver too. Like, I want to see him, what he could do when he's not getting freaking double teamed all game. We're going to go with Jameson Williams. Screw it. We're taking Jameson Williams. I don't care. This kid is probably the perfect complement to Terry McLaurin. Let Terry McLaurin run whatever route he wants and then let Jameson Williams do the opposite because I think this kid's a freak of nature. I think he's so good. And I know people are going to be like, dude, like, he's not that good. But, like, really, he just had more touchdowns than entire teams against Georgia this season by himself. Jameson Williams is that good. He had almost 200 yards against Georgia. He's that good. Pick 21 Bengals. We're just going to go the offensive line here. I think, here's the thing I'll say. They're pass protecting a lot better than, like, everybody thought. They can't run block to save their life, dude. So whichever of these prospects ends up panning out to be a better run blocker, if I was GM, is definitely the one I'm taking. Does it say anything about the scheme? Okay, it doesn't. Sweet. I'm going to go Penning. He's bigger, just a mauler of a football player. Think he's a phenomenal athlete. Then we have the Chargers. Is Jordan Davis still on the board? Oh my God, he is. All right, so we're taking Jordan Davis. I'm not think too hard about that one. Here's where I think teams are gonna go either corner. Like I can see corner or no, sorry, corner, 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 all the way down the board. And a lot of talent has fallen. Just because I think a lot of these teams up front like are still rebuilding, and in my opinion, like you don't draft a corner high unless you are in a position to be competitive and develop him. Like that's why I think it was a huge mistake in 2019 where the Lions took Okuda number 3 overall. It was crazy. Okuda's good, but like the Lions suck. So like, why would you take a corner that like he's going to be your cornerback 1 in his first year in the league? Like that's just silly to me. That's why Patrick Surtain was like a phenomenal pick for the Broncos. And I got into it. If there's any Giants fans out there, I was talking to Justin Pennick about this. He was like, I don't know. I didn't want the Giants to take a corner at pick 11, and I was like, he said something like I didn't quite understand the Surtain pick, and I was like, well, dude, it makes perfect sense. Like, you're having the best corner or the most pro-ready, fundamentally sound corner coming out of the draft, right? And you're drafting him to play cornerback 3, and he's played against Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Jamison Williams, all of these players, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, in practice. Justin Jefferson obviously in games, Jamar Jefferson in games, or Jamar Chase in games, and you're asking him to cover the team's weakest wide receiver. Like he's going to be a beast. And like obviously he's now taking on bigger tasks and he's covering better receivers, but like it made total sense for the situation because the Broncos were competitive and they were asking him to cover the worst wide receiver. And he's better than that already. He's played better talent in college than whoever he's going to be covering at the next level. If he since he was the Broncos. Anyway, it's a long, really random answer for that. But we are now focused on the Bills. Bills' pass rush is really good. I think with Tredavious White getting hurt, you have to go corner here. We're going to take Ahmad Gardner. Best corner on the board. Trent McDuffie's really, really good. I think he's definitely a player where, like, he could be a beast. But Lions, we're going wide receiver. Their 2 leading receivers are TJ Hawkinson, tight end, and DeAndre Swift. So we're going to take a wide receiver because like Jared Goff is bad, but he's out there by himself, and we're going to take Traylon Burks. Actually, no, we were taking Garrett Wilson. Didn't see him still there. Wow. He fell really far down the board. This is definitely one of my more shallow wide receiver classes. I think it's because a lot of the teams that I thought would take a wide receiver are like sliding back. Like, I can see the Jets taking one, but it's too early. The Falcons could take one, but it's still kind of early, and Stingley was on the board. The Eagles definitely could take one, but I think you just got to fix up your defense. Raiders could take one. Browns could take one. Dolphins could take one. I think the Bills could definitely take one. Anyway, but again, let's see which edge rushers are left. I don't know, man. I think if you give Patrick Mahomes to Traylon Burks, like, that could be dangerous. Damn. I don't really want to go safety. Like, Tyrann Mathieu's still playing fine. Like, yeah, he's old, but he's out. Probably his contract expiring, but I don't know, man. Corners have been stepping up lately. You got a beast like Traylon Burks just chilling here. I mean, DeMarvin Leal's there. He's going to play edge to the next level. I really do think that, but do you want him to play purely edge? No, you want him to, like, hybrid. Which wide receivers are available? Yeah, we're going to go with Burks. Burks is a freaking animal. Then we have the Cowboys. I think here, like, all of the edges I would like, I'm not a huge Drake Jackson guy. I like Trayvon Walker, but I think he needs to go back to college for a year. His sample size is way too small. Jermaine Johnson's another good pick. Not a big Jay Sanders guy. not a huge guy. Drake Jackson, he's I love Drake Jackson. Actually, I don't like Drake Jackson. I just lied to your faces. I was thinking of Drake London. I'm not a huge Drake Jackson guy. I think with who's left, we're going to go safety. But I also can make the argument that Trent McDuffie is the best player available for their positional need. They just have like 3 safeties. I think 2 of them are going to be gone off contract. But we're going to take Daxton Hill. I think they need a safety. And I just think that like with who's like if there were different players available, could be completely different. But I think with who's there, safety is the best positional need to address and with the best talent to address it. I think you can make the argument that cornerback is also a huge need, but with the Ravens, again, like I'm not a fan of the edge rushers. I think DeMarvin Leal makes a lot of sense here just because the Ravens are so good at developing talent. And if they need interior D-line and edge help, he could do both. And John Harbaugh is going to make him a monster. They did it with Odafe Away, who's already was a monster coming out of Penn State. But, like, they know how to maximize their players, particularly on the line. I know they need corner help, but this is a super deep corner class. And they have a pretty solid scouting department, I would say. I think DeMarvin Leal, people are like starting to kind of move away from him. I think if he goes to the Ravens, like they'll get the most out of him. And then at pick 28, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think you go corner. You go corner or wide receiver. Like Chris Godwin, I would argue is going to stay. Like why would you want to leave? You're playing with Tom Brady. You're going to go back to the Super Bowl probably. Why you got to leave? If we were going to go receiver, I'd probably go Jahan Dotson or give him a big body Mike Evans type Jr. and Drake London. But we don't know how long Tom Brady's going to be there. Cornerback makes a lot of sense just with how banged up they are at secondary. I think if Chris Godwin stays, but Antonio Brown's gone too, actually. We're going to go with Trent McDuffie. Pick 29. 2 linebackers that I would take are off the board. Brandon Smith is good, but he's like not playing that well as of recently. And any of these other guys, too low. Henry To'o. I don't think that's how you say his name. Probably going to go quarterback. Like I said, like it's going to be a run on quarterbacks here. How many quarterbacks have we seen go? Only 2. So I'm just a fat liar, apparently. Any tight ends available? No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Maybe, nah. I think with Roger McCreary's here, you got to take McCreary. I don't know enough about Martin Emerson, so I'm not going to front like I do. Tackles Petit Frere, Nicholas, as we call him on this channel, is still available. Nicholas P. We could go that. We could do that. Yeah, let's go tackle. I think with a team that's just centered around Derrick Henry, you want the best line in football. And I think they need a good pass protecting tackle. They rank, the last time I checked, 28th in pass protection. So they definitely do need like good pass blockers. Then at pick 30, to me, this has got to be wide receiver. I can also make an argument it's got to be quarterback. But we're gonna go with Jahan Dotson. Devontae Adams is gone. They need a threat or someone for Jordan Love to throw the ball to. I like Amari Rodgers. I just don't know if he's it. To be honest with you, he's going to play out of the slot. I don't think he's going to be a game-changing wide receiver. I also think he was like a 3rd or 2nd round pick, maybe later. I forget. I don't think he was a 2nd round pick. I think he was later in the draft. And then Patriots are going to take a corner. I don't know enough about Martin Emerson. I don't know why he flew up the board. I don't know what just happened. I didn't really watch too much college football this past weekend like an idiot. But I think like they need a corner. They have J.C. Jackson, but they lost Stephon Gilmore. And I really do think they should get a wide receiver, like a premier wide receiver. But with how good Mac Jones has been with what he has, I don't think it's as big of a need anymore. Excuse me. We're going to go with Roger McCreary. And then pick 32. Red Wave, if you are listening to this, someone who like commented on one of the videos and like I've been talking to him about the Cardinals. If you no longer want Drake Jackson, let me know and why you think he's no longer the right pick. But we're gonna go with Drake Jackson. But anyways, guys, this is the 5.0 mock draft, and I'm promising you this time I'm gonna write it on my whiteboard over there so I don't forget. Mock draft 6 will be if I was the GM of every team. So I'm going to look at all the cap situations, all the contracts. It's going to be a really long time to do all that. But mock draft 5.0 is in the books. Let me know what you think. Again, if you're calling me an idiot, it's cool. Just let me know why. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It helps with the channel. Just saying some YouTuber stuff. I don't really know what any of that means. But yeah, this is the mock draft. Let me know if I picked for the right Let me know 2 things in the comments. Let me know if I picked the right player, the right position, or what you would change and which player you would take and why. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace!